Since yesterday, we have been seeing certain expose on the then Home Minister, Mr. P. Chidambaram, and the Ishrat files. Today, it appears that certain further expose has also been made. I am reminded today of two lines of the famous legendary singer Kishore Kumar. जो बाग बहार उजाड़े उसे कौन बचाए, जो पानी आग लगाए उसे कौन बुझाए। जब पानी खुद आग लगा देती है तो आग को बुझाएगा कौन। जो सरकार खुद आतंकवादियों के साथ खड़ी हो जाती है तो आतंकवादियों को मारेगा कौन। If the government itself compromises with the national security, where will the citizens of this country go? And today I would say very candidly, not as a spokesperson of a party, but as citizen of this great country called India, that it's a sad day for the country today. It's a very sad day because the exposers, yesterday's exposers, today's exposers, have only proved one point. And the point that has been proved is that the national security of India was compromised. Ishrat Jahan case took place in 2004. From 2004 till today, despite the fact that the politicians who were ruling the country then knew everything, they were hiding it. They were keeping it under wraps. They were compromising with the national security. They all knew that Ishrat Jahan was a suicide bomber. They all knew that Ishrat Jahan was deputed by the Lashkar-e-Toiba, that is LET, to eliminate one of the prominent politicians of this country, the present-day Prime Minister, then Gujarat Chief Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. Knowing all this, not only they kept quiet, but they conspired to stand with terrorists. And that is the reason as to why, friends, I say not as a spokesperson of a particular party, but as a citizen of this country, that it is a sad day. Because when our protectors turn perpetrators, then the citizens have to sit back and think. And today, we all have to think who were ruling us for the last 10 years. What were they doing? Mr. Chidambaram is not an ordinary person. Mr. Chidambaram, apart from the fact that he occupied many important portfolios in the last government, apart from the fact that he was a home minister of the country, he's an astute lawyer. He's a lawyer of repute and fame. And remember, when a lawyer of repute and fame, who knows how to play with his words, suddenly does not find his voice, suddenly does not find the right words, suddenly has to say that, well, I do not know whether I signed the file or have not signed the file. Remember, Mr. Chidambaram, चक्रव्यूह में फंस गए हैं आप, क्योंकि जब एक कानूनविद, जब एक वकील, साधारण वकील नहीं, महान वकील, ये कहते हैं कि मुझे याद नहीं मैंने हस्ताक्षर किया कि नहीं किया, जबकि चंद दिनों पहले कह रहे थे मैंने हस्ताक्षर नहीं किया, तब चिदंबरम साहब चक्रव्यूह में फंस गए हैं आप। मैं बताऊंगा इस चक्रव्यूह का रचयिता कौन है, वह भी हम बताएंगे, मगर आप तो फंस गए। The rule of the law is, however beautifully, however masterfully you may have crafted the crime, but the rule of law is, the perpetrator would always leave certain evidence, fingerprints would be left, so that one fine day law will catch up with the perpetrator. And the signature of Mr. P. Chidambaram on the first affidavit is only the first of such evidences which has nailed Mr. Chidambaram's and the then government lies. Mr. P.C., that is P. Chidambaram, thought that he had plotted a PC, that is perfect conspiracy. But because of the evidences left by PC, his PC has been blown off. It was not a perfect conspiracy, sir. Conspiracies can never be perfect. Conspiracy to eliminate important leaders from India, conspiracy to eliminate Mr. Narendra Modi, conspiracy to fail Mr. Amit Shah. No, sir, the lid has been blown off. And today, you have been caught red-handed. But moving ahead of this, there are far more important revelations which are coming. And what are they? On 13th of April 2011, I've just seen the expose, and I'm really taken aback. On 13th of April 2011, there was a noting on the file of Ishrat Jahan case. And the noting was from the MHA, that is Ministry of Home Affairs. But sorry friends, today I believe, after what all I have been seeing about the then MHA, the MHA probably appears as manipulative hush-hush affairs. Not as Ministry of Home Affairs, it was rather manipulative hush-hush affairs. That's what was going on during the UPA regime. And the noting says on 13th April 2011 that the NIA has submitted certain important information on Ishrat Jahan. NIA ने इशरत जहान पे कुछ important notings की हैं, कुछ important inferences की हैं. इसलिए, since we have two affidavits, affidavit number 1 and affidavit number 2, it is better to go through NIA's inferences so that all of us are in conformity. That is, these affidavits and the NIA is reading about Ishrat Jahan, they are in conformity. And friends, the expose today speaks of the fact that after going through the NIA report, which clearly spoke about Ishrat Jahan, it appears there was a meeting between the then MHA, that is the Ministry of Home Affairs, whom I call manipulative hush-hush affairs, and the then NIA. And thereafter, a letter was sent to the SIT chief in Gujarat. The letter was sent on 5th of May 2011, and the letter says that to the SIT, the letter of NIA says that we cannot share with you what David Coleman Headley had to say about Ishrat Jahan. NIA ने लिखित रूप से SIT को कहा कि हम आपसे वो साझा नहीं कर सकते हैं, हम आपके साथ वो नहीं बांट सकते हैं जो डेविड कोलमैन हेडली ने इशरत जहान के लिए कहा. So most importantly, certain part of the truth in fact was conveniently erased by the Ministry of Home Affairs then under the very nose of the perpetrator of manipulation, that is Mr. P. Chidambaram. 119-page report was submitted by the NIA after questioning, after interrogating David Coleman Headley in America, and from this 119-page report, paragraphs mentioning Ishrat Jahan's name were deleted. You did not want to share that with SIT. You wrote a letter to the SIT, said that we cannot share this because it's a hearsay. Because it's a hearsay, we cannot share with you. Now, the third part is, on 25th of June 2010, the legal attaché of the US Embassy writes a letter to the Indian Investigative Authority, that is the NIA, and says that, warns rather, that please take action. Temples in certain of your states are under threat. Temples in certain of your states are under threat because there is a suicide bomber by the name of Ishrat Jahan. And this they corroborate with the interrogation that the FBI had with David Coleman Headley. Just imagine, the FBI could warn our government. The FBI sends a letter of warning to the government that there was someone called as Ishrat Jahan, who is a suicide bomber. So please be careful. A foreign national, they send us this letter of warning. And what was happening in the soils of India? What was happening in India? The government was saying, no, Ishrat Jahan, not to worry. There's nothing called as Ishrat Jahan. She's a martyr. She's a martyr. There were the few claiming she's a martyr. There was a few claiming she's Bihar ki beti. And that is the reason as to why I say it's a sad day for the country, because just in order to pick up few brownie political points, we can stoop to this level. We can stoop to the level where we compromise with the national security. Sir, this is not just a press conference. This is not just the Bharatiya Janata Party conducting a press conference. This is a clarion call. Please, it's high time. We need to sit back. We need to think. To what extent have we degraded ourselves? What is the priority? The priority of the government is to protect the lives of innocent citizens. सरकार का दायित्व क्या होता है? सरकार का दायित्व होता है अपने नागरिकों के जान के साथ कोई खिलवाड़ न हो पाए, नागरिकों की जान को बचाना। डेविड कोल्डवेल हेडली को जो इंट्रोगेशन किया जा रहा था, वो क्यों किया जा रहा था? ताकि 26/11 में जो लोग, जो भारतीय मारे गए हैं आतंकवादी गतिविधि के कारण, उनको न्याय मिल सके। डेविड कोल्डवेल हेडली was interrogated because justice was to be delivered to the people who died in 26/11 terrorist attack. But here was a government who was trying to protect the perpetrators of 26/11. This is a big question, and now comes the most important question to the Congress party, sir. Between the first affidavit and between the second affidavit, the first affidavit saying that Ishrat Jahan was a LET module, Ishrat Jahan was a terrorist who came here to kill Narendra Modi. And the second affidavit, which clearly keeps these facts away and goes into the territory of fiction, divorcing the fact that Ishrat Jahan was a LET agent. Between these two affidavits in the 45 days, August 6, 2009 and 30th September 2009 to be precise, what transpired? वही पी चिदम्बरम अगस्त के महीने में एक एफिडेविट में साइन करते हैं और कहते हैं कि हां, इशरत जहान एलईटी की आतंकवादी थी। वही पी चिदम्बरम 40-45 दिन के बाद दूसरे एफिडेविट में इसे हटा देते हैं। हमारा प्रश्न है, हु वाज द कल्प्रिट? ये 45 दिन में क्या हुआ? इन 45 दिनों में पी चिदम्बरम को किसने बदला? पी चिदम्बरम के मन में किसने जहर घोला? And I am reminded of the famous novel of Agatha Christie, Murder, She Wrote. And I would say, conspiracy, she wrote. Conspiracy, she wrote. And she lives in an address which is quite familiar to all of us. Mr. Chidambaram, the country wants to know, who is the she who wrote the conspiracy? Because this is a conspiracy against India. This is not an ordinary conspiracy. Had it been an ordinary political backbiting, had it been just rhetorics, it's okay, it's a democratic country, we would have smiled, forgiven and forgotten. But this is a conspiracy hitting at the very roots of India. This is a conspiracy which compromises with the security of India. So, Mr. Chidambaram, let the nation know who is the she who wrote the conspiracy, because we all know in Congress party, dictats come from a singular address. You have no other address. The remote control lies with the she. So please, Mr. Chidambaram, the country should know the truth, because this is the right of every citizen of this country to know who compromised with the security of India, who tried to deliver injustice to the ones who died in 26/11. And today, let me tell you, आज मैं बताऊं, ये जो ओसामा बिन लादेन के मारे जाने के बाद दिग्विजय सिंह कहते थे, ओसामा जी के साथ ये अच्छा नहीं हुआ। हाफिज सईद को पार्लियामेंट में खुद खड़े होकर उस समय के गृह मंत्री सुशील कुमार संदे कहते थे, हाफिज साहब, चंद दिनों पहले जिनके लिए अफजल गुरुजी बन गए थे, याकूब मेमन को फांसी पे चढ़ने के बाद जो लोग कहते हैं ये तो स्टेट स्पॉन्सर्ड किलिंग है, बाटला हाउस एनकाउंटर के बाद जो अध्यक्षा 3 दिन तक सो नहीं पाई, वो केवल रोती रही, ये मैं नहीं, सलमान खुर्शीद ने कहा, रोती रही, ये सब स्लिप ऑफ टंग नहीं था। These were not